everyone. My name is Marcia. I am a volunteer with the American Red Cross. Raise your hand if you have heard of the Red Cross. Beautiful. Keep your hand up if you can tell me something the Red Cross does. Yes, that's right. We help people. One of the ways we help people is during an emergency, and another is by teaching them how to prepare for an emergency. An emergency is a time when something serious happens and immediate help is needed, like an earthquake, a tornado, or a hurricane. One way to prepare is through drills, like a fire drill at school. Raise your hand if you've ever practiced a school fire drill. That's right. I brought along a story about my friend Pedro. He is a very friendly penguin who knows how important it is to prepare. If we follow along and see what he has learned, we can learn how to prepare too. This is my friend Pedro. This story is called Prepare with Pedro.
Hi, I'm Pedro. I'm learning how to prepare for emergencies. Prepare means get ready. You get ready for things all the time, like when you put on a jacket and grab an umbrella to get ready for a rainy day. I want to be ready for any emergency, so I'm learning how to stay safe when emergencies happen. Can anyone give me an example of something you have done to get ready? Yes, thank you. Yes, you brush your teeth in the morning to get ready for school. Thank you. Yes, you do your homework in the evening to get ready and be prepared for school the next day. Today, Pedro is going to show us what can help us prepare for hurricanes and how to stay safe. I'm going to read the story to you and ask questions along the way. We'll practice an activity together too. And then I'm going to teach you a really cool skill that you can use before, during, or after an emergency to calm down. Are you ready to prepare with Pedro? Let's see what he's up to. Pedro and his friend Martin saw a hurricane on TV. What is a hurricane? Asked Pedro. A hurricane is a large storm with lots of wind and rain that moves in a circle, answered Martin. The winds can get very strong and the rain can cause flooding. Hurricanes can happen where we live. To prepare for them, there are some important words to know and some important things to do. Can you all see the big, bold words at the bottom of the page? These are some words to remember in order to stay safe if there is a hurricane. Repeat after me, please. Hurricane watch, evacuate, hurricane warning, shelter in place, and storm surge. Let's keep reading. I think Martin will tell Pedro and us what each word means. When a hurricane might be coming to our area, it's called a hurricane watch. That means we need to be prepared in case a hurricane comes. Board up all windows and secure doors to stay safe from the wind. Also, bring in anything outside that might blow away, especially pets like Red. You also want to make sure you have plenty of supplies like food, water, a flashlight with batteries, medicine, and diapers for Lorena in the house. Keep a radio on to stay informed in case you are told to evacuate. When there's a hurricane watch in our area, there are things we can do right away to prepare. Who can tell me what a hurricane watch means? That's right. When there's a hurricane watch, there is a chance a storm will come to the area. A weather team is looking out for the storm to see where it will go and if it will get stronger or weaker. Who can tell me one action we can do to prepare for a hurricane? Very good. Yes, bring in things from the outside. Those are great answers. Think of something you would want in your supply kit. Maybe it's a favorite food or a toy that makes you feel better, like a stuffed animal. You also want to make sure you have supplies for any pets, like dog food, as well as every family member, like your brothers or sisters. Let's turn the page and see what Pedro and Martin will talk about now. What does evacuate mean? Asked Pedro. Martin explained. Evacuate means you need to leave your house to go somewhere safe. If you and your household are told to evacuate, you must do this right away. Waiting to leave can be unsafe. Sometimes your house is not the safest place to be when a hurricane comes. It's very important to leave your house if it is time to evacuate. Look, Martin's household is loading up their car with all of the supplies they collected during the hurricane watch. They are headed to a shelter, a safe place to stay during the storm. When there is a hurricane warning, that means there's a hurricane in our area and we need to take action. If told to do so, we evacuate right away. If not, then we shelter in place. That means we stay in a safe place away from windows, like a storm shelter or bathroom, until it's safe to leave. A hurricane warning is different than a hurricane watch. When there is a hurricane watch, we are looking out for the storm and getting ready. When there's a hurricane warning, the storm is in our area and we need to take action to stay safe. We close all doors and windows tight, gather supplies, and stay in a safe room with no windows, like a storm shelter or bathroom, until the storm has passed. During a hurricane warning, you want to make sure you are in a safe place. Do you see how Martin's household is closing the doors and windows while his brother and sister are in a room with no windows? That is a safe place to be during a hurricane. We stay in a safe room away from windows, like a storm shelter or bathroom. Talk to your household about where to go in your home and when. A strong storm like a hurricane can cause the seawater to rise. This is called a storm surge. The storm surge can cause flooding, which means there is water where there shouldn't be. Be sure to never walk or drive into water after a hurricane, and stay away from objects like trees or power lines that have fallen down. You could get hurt. A penguin like Pedro normally loves water, but during and after a hurricane, he needs to stay away from water and other things like trees and power lines that have fallen down. And so do You. Look at this treasure map. Martin's household car needs to back up and avoid a lot of things in order to get home safely. Thanks, Martin, said Pedro. I'm glad I learned what to do in case of a hurricane. Now I know how to stay safe. Since Pedro just learned how to be prepared for a hurricane, I think it's time for us to practice what we've learned with him. What do you think? Great, let's do this.
To practice what to do during a hurricane watch and a hurricane warning, let's follow Martin and Pedro. I have this picture of Pedro here, and we'll be Pedro acting out what we do when there is a hurricane watch and there is a hurricane warning. I'll need you to follow Pedro and do what he does so we can all practice how to be prepared. Before we start, first things first, who can tell me what a hurricane watch is? Very good. Now, what is a hurricane warning? Great. We are going to practice how to be prepared during a hurricane watch and how to take action during a hurricane warning. Can anyone remember what Pedro and Martin's household did to be prepared during a hurricane watch? Yes, we need to make sure we have everything ready in case the hurricane comes to our area. Having all our belongings and pets inside, gathering food and other supplies, and listening to the news about the storm are great ways to be prepared. Ready to try this together? Very good. So let's all stand and you're gonna follow me. Are you ready? Great. Now I'd like for you to form a line behind me and we're all going to be Pedro. So we're going to be prepared. We are preparing for the hurricane, during the hurricane watch. Let's gather our things from outside. What are we gathering? Our pets. Name your pets as you gather your pets. We're picking up our gardening supplies. We're picking up the lawn chair. We don't want anything to fly away. So we're picking up everything. And then we're gathering our supplies in the kitchen. Since we're inside, let's put our food in the kitchen. Let's remember our water. We need the water. Let's put it in the kitchen. What else are we going to need during this hurricane watch? Let's put it together. And then we're going to listen to the radio to make sure we're hearing what's going on with the hurricane. Let's turn it on. The radio says that we have a hurricane warning. What do we do with the hurricane warning? We either evacuate or find a safe place to go. So let's get away from the doors and the window. Let's find ourselves a safe place. Follow me into the safe place. We're away from the doors or windows, so we've taken action when there is a hurricane warning. We're listening to the radio. Very good. The radio says the hurricane has passed. We can come out of our safe place now. Let's go and find ourselves our seats so we can talk more about being prepared for a hurricane. That was amazing. I think we're all ready to be prepared in case there is a hurricane watch in our area. Can anyone remember what Martin's family and Pedro did to take action during a hurricane warning? Yes, once there was a warning, we need to be ready to take action because the storm is in our area. If you are at home, that means locking all the doors and boarding the windows and staying in a safe room away from the windows until the storm has passed. Listening to the radio is a great way to know when the storm is gone and it's safe to leave the room. Oh, listen. It sounds like the radio says it's safe now. We can leave the safe room now. But look, there is water outside and a tree has fallen out there. Should I walk outside and investigate? That's right. We do not go near water or things that have fallen down, like the power lines. Remember that a storm surge causes water to be where there shouldn't be any. We need to avoid things like these to stay safe. Great job, everyone. Well done. Now that we know what to do to be prepared during a hurricane watch and take action during a hurricane warning, let's learn a little bit more about a hurricane. Can anyone remember what a hurricane is? What makes up a hurricane? That's right. Just like Martin told Pedro, a hurricane is a large storm with lots of wind that moves in a circle. There is also a lot of rain which can cause flooding. To see all the things that make up a hurricane, let's try creating one right here in this class. We will pretend to be the storm so we can see how it moves. Are you ready? Okay, during the hurricane watch, we look out to see the clouds, to see what the clouds are doing. They're becoming gray. They're moving in a circle. Let's all move our bodies in a circle like the clouds. And the clouds start getting darker and they start moving a little faster. And so we're moving our bodies a little faster. And then with the clouds come the rain. The rain starts falling. Let's be the rain that starts to fall. Our fingers are the rain and it starts falling a little faster as the clouds are swirling even faster. And with the rain comes the wind. Let me hear you be the wind. And then with the rain comes the lightning and the thunder, so we're going to move our feet. And we're moving faster and faster. And then the hurricane is slowly moving away from us. So we're going to slow down. And the hurricane has passed. Very good. You've done a wonderful job being the hurricane. Now that you've seen that a storm can get very strong quickly and can move in a direction you may not have expected, that's why it's important to be prepared and take action when a hurricane might be coming into your area, and to evacuate when told to do so. All of that wind and rain can be dangerous. Great job, everyone. Let's get back to our book.
A few months later, Pedro was listening to the radio and heard that a hurricane might be coming in their direction. The news said his town was under a hurricane watch. I know what to do, said Pedro. I'm so glad I'm already prepared. What can Pedro do to be prepared during a hurricane watch? Great answers. Yes, he can bring in things from outside and gather supplies. Let's see what Pedro does. Pedro went outside and brought in his favorite scooter. He made sure he had plenty of supplies in his house and the radio on to hear any news. Pedro locked his doors and windows tight and got ready to board them up. He was ready to take action if there was a hurricane warning or if he had to evacuate. Pedro did everything Martin told him to do when there's a hurricane watch. He even locked his windows in case he needed to evacuate, or if the hurricane watch became a hurricane warning. What does a hurricane watch mean again? Does it mean a hurricane may be coming to the area, or that the hurricane is already in the area? That's right. A hurricane watch means the hurricane may be coming into the area, so it's a perfect time to be prepared. If there is a hurricane warning, the hurricane is already in the area and we need to take action to stay safe. Let's see what happens next. Just then, Pedro's radio had a weather alert that said the hurricane is losing strength and has changed direction. Look, the person on the radio was saying, no storm surge has happened, but there is a lot of water, so stay away from flooded areas. Remember, a storm surge is when a strong storm, like a hurricane, makes the seawater levels rise. This can cause flooding, which means there's water where there shouldn't be. What should Pedro do if he comes across flooding? Trees that have fallen down, or power lines? That's right. Pedro needs to stay away from floodwater, trees, and power lines that have fallen down. All those things can be dangerous. Let's see what Pedro thinks now that the storm threat is over. Pedro was glad he practiced how to be prepared and take action so that if a hurricane does come, he will know what to do to stay safe. Looks like Pedro learned a lot from Martin, and I hope you guys did too.
Sometimes when people get excited, nervous, or scared, they start to breathe fast. I know this happens to me when I'm really nervous before I have to take a test, right before I'm about to play against a really hard team in sports. This happens to people when there is an emergency too. Pedro and I want to show you something you can do in case you ever feel nervous or scared. Wow, practicing for emergencies is exciting, but it makes me feel nervous too. So I take big, slow breaths to calm down. Breathe in slowly through your nose and slowly out through your mouth. After just 5 or 6 breaths, I feel better and start to relax. Try it yourself and see. I want everyone to practice with me. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Very good. Now we're going to count to 3 when we breathe in through our nose. Ready? In, 2, 3, and out through your mouth. In through your nose, 2, 3, out through your mouth, 2, 3. In through your nose, 2, 3, and out through your mouth, 2, 3. Now open your eyes. How do you feel? Is your heart still beating fast? Do you feel calm or sleepy? You can practice this at any time. Whenever you feel nervous or excited, it will help to calm you down. Remember, take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. And remember, share it with your household so they too can be calm and they don't have to be nervous or excited also. I sure had fun with you all today. I'm so glad we learned how to prepare with Pedro. I'm going to ask you some questions about what we learned today from Pedro. If you think the answer is yes, show me with a thumbs up. And if you think the answer is no, show me with a thumbs down. Can I see it? All your hands raised? Let's see the thumbs up. Very good. Let's see thumbs down. Very good. Now, when I ask you a question, close your eyes and answer me with thumbs up or thumbs down. Okay, should we try one now? Let's do a practice question. Everybody, close your eyes and I will ask you a question. Today is Saturday. If you think the answer is yes, put your thumbs up. If you think the answer is no, put thumbs down. Perfect. Today is not Saturday. You guys did a great job. Let's do another question now. Remember, keep your eyes closed and be ready. First question. If there is a hurricane watch in Pedro's area, should he do things in order to be prepared? Put your thumbs up if you think the answer is yes. Thumbs down if you think the answer is no. Hold them high for me while I count. Okay, great job. You can put your hands down now. The answer is yes. Pedro can do lots of things to be prepared during a hurricane watch, like bring in items from outside and gather supplies in his house. He can also listen to the radio to learn more about the storm. Good job. Next question. Close your eyes. If there is a hurricane warning in Pedro's area, should he stay in a safe place away from the windows? Put your thumbs up if you think the answer is yes. Thumbs down if the answer is no. Raise them high. Very good. Thank you. Go ahead and put your hands down. The answer is yes. Pedro should stay in a safe room away from windows if there is a hurricane warning. That is how he can take action to be safe during a storm. Very good. Next one. Eyes are closed. Great. A storm surge means there is flood water from the coast that we need to avoid. Do you agree? Put your thumbs up if you think the answer is yes. Thumb down if the answer is no. All right, everyone, put your hands down. That was very good. Remember what Martin told Pedro. A storm surge means that the storm made water from the coastline flood, and we should avoid flood waters. Turn around and don't go towards the flood water. Okay, next question. Close your eyes. Even after the hurricane lost strength and had changed directions, does Pedro need to be careful of flooding and trees and power lines that have fallen down? Thumbs up if it's yes, thumbs down if it's no. Great job, everyone. That's right. You want to stay away from flood water and fallen trees or power lines. Even if the hurricane loses strength or doesn't come through your city. I have one more question for you. You do not need to put your thumbs up or down for this one. For this question, I want you to show me by making a sound. I would like you all to show me what is one thing we can do to stay calm when we are worried. Wonderful. Great work. When you want to calm down, one thing you can do is take deep breaths. Deep, slow breaths. Just like we practiced. This is fantastic. Great job today. Now I have one piece of homework for you to do. But don't worry, it's going to be fun. When you go home today, I want you to show all the grown-ups in your household Pedro's cool safety checklist and everything else we gave you today. It's your job to share what you have learned. You can read the book together and you can practice along with Martin and Pedro. Can you all agree to do that for me? Great! I had so much fun with you today. Thank you for learning how to prepare with Pedro, practicing how to stay safe, and for agreeing to share what you've learned today with your household. Thank you guys.